Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Raging Reality reaction video. Now today guys, it's hard to believe now that we're on to the 5th of December. We are just under 3 weeks away from Christmas Day, and this is only my second actual recording of doing any sort of videos this entire month yet. Hopefully some of you guys may already know why, and I swear to God, this is like the first bit of free time I've actually managed to find to actually be able to do anything revolving around videos, whatever. So the very first instinct I had was to avenge Sevenfold. That was the very first thing that was on my mind throughout all of this, is to get back into Sevenfold. Don't ask me why that is. It's just, after Nightmare, I just wanted to take a listen to these guys again, because I listened to it for the first time since I did that video a few days ago, and I thought, you know, screw it, why not? So, sorry guys, I didn't really have much else going into this, so let's just get started. So, if you guys want to check out the original video for yourselves, links will all be in the description down below. Let's begin. Seize the day in 3, 2, 1, and...
Seize the day, you'll die regretting the time you lost. It's empty and cold without you here. Too many people to wake over. I see my vision burn, I feel my memories fade with time, but I'm too young to worry. The streets we travel on will undergo a sunrise past. I found you here, now please just stay for a while. I can move on with you around. I hand you my mortal life, but will it be forever? I'd do anything for a smile, holding me till our time is done. We both know the day will come, but I don't wanna leave you. I see my vision burn, I feel my memories fade with time, but I'm too young to worry. A melody, a memory, just one picture. Seize the day, you'll die regretting the time you lost. It's empty and gone without you here. Too many people to wake around. No more life replacing all of us, changing this fate won't we live in. No longer needed here, so where do we go? Will you take a journey tonight? Follow me past the walls of death. But girl, what if there is no eternal life? I see my vision burn, I feel my memories fade with time, but I'm too young to worry. A melody, a memory, just one picture. Seize the day, you'll die regretting the time you lost. It's empty and gone without you here. Too many people to wake around. Trials in life, questions of us existing here. Don't wanna die alone without you here. Please tell me what we have is real. what we have is real. Silence, you lost me, no chance for one more day. Silence, you lost me, no chance for one more day. Silence, you lost me, no chance for one more day. Silence, you lost me, no chance to get back out. Silence, you lost me, no chance for one more day. Silence, away from me, no chance to get back out.
Okay, guys, that was Seize the Day by Avenged Sevenfold. You know, I'm gonna, you know what, whilst we've got this time together, guys, and I know these are gonna be coming quite frequently over this month, I may as well make the most of what I'm gonna say for the next couple of minutes. So, you know the drill if you're here before. If you're here for the very first time, you better get ready, because this could get quite long. So you know what? If you don't want to get bored or me go into hysterical rantings, please feel free to log off now, and I'll see you all in the next video. For anyone else who wants to stay, when I was like first listening to punk alternative music back in 2000 and it was like mid 2011, stuff like My Chemical Romance or Fall Out Boy or the likes of Green Day or Linkin Park would usually get the stigmata of being called emo music, like people who will literally paint themselves all over in dark clothing, dark wigs, have heavy eyelining, have pretty much dyed and very thick eyebrows is something I've never really thought. Again, this is just me babbling, and maybe many people just pretty much copying the lifestyles of the likes of Gerard Way, Frank Iroh, and at least I think it's Frank Iroh. It's, again, MCR has been a bit of a wow anyway, and Billy Joe Armstrong as well. So, but what's quite interesting about all that is that when you actually listen to stuff like Welcome to the Black Parade or Saint Jimmy or Are We the Waiting or No More, or even something like No More, even something like What I've Done for the very first time, you begin to realize this is just what these guys are pouring their hearts into what they love and what they've got to say. Because you know what, listen, I find it almost impossible for any great song for anybody to not get to. Okay, hang on, let me start over. It's impossible for any great song for anybody to not get emotionally invested, both in performance and, well, basically, yeah, that's it. You've got to have some kind of investment in what you are doing when you're performing or when you're making something for distribution. You've got to let your audience know what you're all about and how much you feel about whatever you're talking about. I mention that because and I think this is like the 6th song I've done from Sevenfold since about nearly 2 years. I never thought I would think this much about Sevenfold, because I'm going to be frank here, they remind me an awful lot of Linkin Park in the way they write. They seem very open and genuine, and because Seize the Day, for example, Carpe Diem, if for any people who studied Latin out there, what I always thought like Seize the Day really meant is do all the things you've always wanted to do what is other people would brand impossible. In fact, actually, I'll tell you what, let me tell you a little story about the word impossible. It's relatively short, but I think it's somewhat prevalent. When I was in year 10 and I was in this physics lesson, and our teacher at the time told us, see if you can get this rubber ball and see if it can go through this table. What are the odds that it's going to go through? And he did it like that, and well, obviously it didn't go through, but it's not impossible. It said it was 0.00000 power to something like nearly 400 million to 1 that it was going to go through. So it's not impossible, but the odds are just incredibly minute. That is what is meant by the fact that the word impossible is just a word, is that for something to be impossible, there can be no odds of... 1 second. You was too good to be true. I know. So anyway, for something to be impossible, the odds have to be so tiny that it makes any sort of attempt, anything trying to resemble trying, to be so futile and so almost like an act of despotism that there's just, why would anyone want to try and do that? And believe it or not, guys, there was a point in my life where I felt like I was almost a walking despotism, that I was setting myself up for goals that were far too close for the sun for anybody to realistically reach. And then, how best am I supposed to say it? I think like the best thing I can relatively... Actually, you know what? I'm going to get away from that for a second and more or less focus on Seize the Day itself. I like the fact that almost all of the video is shown with Sevenfold behind bars or behind a fence. It gives you the idea that all of a sudden, when you're cut off from freedom, something you would take for granted almost from the very first day of your life, and then when you get to the point where you are literally cut off, where all you've got are four walls and there's no life, it gives you a very different perspective about life, when what you thought would never abandon you is just taken away from you. And then all of a sudden, because it's not like time stops, the rest of the world continues, and especially what happened with the girlfriend in the story, and how she just got sideswiped by this well, I think it was a pickup truck. Yeah, it was definitely something like that, and just it's so, I don't want to say forced, that's not the right word. I would say that's what happens, sadly, what happens in the real world. Like, mean disasters can strike almost anywhere. And it's not like, and again, it's not like you could say that these sort of things are just fabricated just to tell a story, because there have got to have been stories like this somewhere or other, where this guy was behind bars and his girlfriend just died under very tragic circumstances. I know fine well it's quite a different thing, but I feel as if, like, reformity, that's what I'm getting, that's what I saw like the biggest thing I want to get out of this. And not so much reformity if you've had a criminal history, or whether or not you've been involved in some pretty shady stuff in the back. Is that you have the opportunity to try again. You have the opportunity to build yourself up from what you once were into something even greater than before. And I've said this before now, but it's almost turning into a sort of motto for this channel. So bear with me as I say it again. The reason why I think so many people are so afraid of trying is not because they don't think they can, but perhaps some people think it's already too late. Well, when is it too late? Is it ever too late? It's not impossible to try again. Impossible is just a word. So therefore, the only thing stopping us, the only thing we have to fear is fear ourselves. We have no other barrier in our way to stop us from trying again. I know that sound somewhat futile, and I know fine well that some people's circumstances are slightly worse than others in terms of like trying to like dig deep down inside to have to try again and all that and all that. But you know what? Seize the day, because if we're not, then why else are we here? What else have we got to give if we can't give everything that we have to living our life as we choose? I know probably there's a few objections here and there, and I know probably I've maybe skimmed over a few details here and there, but you know what? That doesn't sound like the sort of thing you wouldn't hear outside of Linkin Park. Linkin Park, and especially for those people who don't really listen to Park all that much, Park have some of the most, well, Chester, God rest his soul, with the main exception, he has one of the most passionate, one of the most powerful, and one of the most heartfelt voices I think the 21st century has ever heard. He bellows his heart into every single thing he does. And I know it's not unknown for some people to do, make parodies and stuff like that, but again, when you cut through all of that and you just listen to what he's got to say, it's a very different matter. And like I was just saying in the beginning there, when you really step back and you really begin to analyze and discuss what these guys are talking about, you begin to see things slightly differently. And that's the sort of thing I've always loved about doing this channel and doing these reactions, is that you get to see the world in a whole new light. You get to be able to talk about things that you never really thought you would. We don't have any prejudice here. We don't discriminate. We don't do snobbery. We don't do any of that. This should be a place, a haven, as you will, for people to just enjoy and talk about music. So I fancy we should continue doing that. Now, I just want a very quick little mention of what I want to do before we end, because I know we don't get this time all that much nowadays, but I'm just going to leave you guys with this. For the videos, and there are definitely going to be a lot more videos coming this December, but I want to have a very different kind of approach to Christmas than the traditional just doing just doing the Christmas Carol sort of thing over again. I want there to be a little bit more than that. So there may be something coming in the future. So we'll just have to wait and see. So anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this reaction video. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought of Seize the Day by Avenged Sevenfold. Please also make sure to also like and subscribe so you get daily notifications when my videos come out. And I hope to see all of you guys again in the next reaction video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.